You ever meet someone who's so humble it actually makes you uncomfortable? Like they just got promoted to CEO and they're like, oh no, it was really a team effort. I barely did anything. And you're standing there thinking, wait, did you just gaslight yourself? Because let's be honest, the rest of us can't even share a minor accomplishment without turning it into a full TED talk about our genius. But these people, they could cure cancer and be like, hey, the cells did most of the work. Here's the thing, we're told humility is a virtue, right? Stay humble. Don't get a big head. But what happens when someone takes that advice and runs a marathon with it? What happens when humility stops being a personality trait and starts becoming a personality disorder? Because there's a fine line between being humble and being so self-effacing that people wonder if you even like yourself. And trust me, these dangerously humble people are walking that line like it's a tightrope over a pit of their own dismissed achievements. So, what's actually happening in the brain of someone with zero ego? Psychologists call it self concept clarity, or in this case, the lack of it. These are people who genuinely struggle to internalize their own worth. It's not false modesty, it's not fishing for compliments. They literally cannot compute that they did something impressive. You tell them they're amazing, and their brain is like, error 404, self worth not found. What? Yeah, their internal monologue is basically just a constant loop of, but anyone could have done that, even when, spoiler alert, anyone absolutely could not have done that. But here's where it gets wild. Research from Stanford shows that people with extremely low ego often have what's called an external locus of control. That's fancy psychology speak for, I don't think I have any power over my own life. They attribute all their successes to luck, timing, other people, the alignment of the planets, literally anything except their own skills and effort. They get a raise? Must be because the boss felt generous. They ace a presentation? Must be because the audience was in a good mood. They save a drowning puppy. The puppy probably would have figured it out. And you know what's really messed up? These people are usually incredibly talented, like objectively, measurably good at what they do. But their brain has this weird filter that just deletes any evidence of their competence. It's like they're running life on hard mode with a permanent debuff that makes them think they're running on easy mode. They're out here winning gold medals and convincing themselves they just tripped across the finish line. So why does this happen? A lot of times it comes from childhood. Maybe they grew up in an environment where achievements were expected, not celebrated, or where standing out was seen as selfish or arrogant, or where someone else in the family was the successful one, and they learned to make themselves smaller. So they developed this coping mechanism where they just preemptively downplay everything they do, because if you never claim credit, you can never be accused of being too much, right? But here's the kicker. Studies show that extreme humility can actually be a form of self-sabotage. Because if you never acknowledge what you're good at, you never build confidence. And if you never build confidence, you never take risks. And if you never take risks, you stay stuck. These people could be running companies, writing books, changing the world, but instead they're in the corner at parties saying, oh, I just got lucky. While everyone else is like, dude, you invented a new form of renewable energy. That's not luck, that's you being brilliant. The truth is, having no ego isn't actually humble. It's just another form of self-obsession. Except instead of thinking you're better than everyone, you're thinking you're worse. You're still making everything about yourself. You're just doing it in reverse. And honestly, it's exhausting to watch. Because we want to celebrate you, but you won't let us. We want to hype you up, but you keep deflecting. It's like trying to throw a surprise party for someone who keeps insisting their birthday isn't important. So, if you're one of these dangerously humble people, here's your permission slip. You're allowed to be good at things. You're allowed to know you're good at things. You're allowed to say thank you instead of launching into a dissertation about how you're terrible and this was all a fluke. Because the world doesn't need more people pretending they're nothing. The world needs people who can own their value without apologizing for it. So go ahead. Take up space. Claim your wins. Let yourself be proud. Because we don't just need humble people. We need people who know they're capable of incredible things and aren't afraid to admit it. So hit that like button if you just realized you've been apologizing for existing this entire time. Subscribe for more psychology that gently calls out the stuff we pretend is fine but definitely isn't. And drop a comment with the most absurd thing you've ever downplayed. Like, did you really just say, oh, it's nothing after literally saving someone's life? Because I need to hear these stories. See you next week with another topic that'll make you go, oh no, that's me, isn't it? Until then, maybe practice saying thank you without immediately listing your flaws.